What's up, everybody? Welcome to Extra Time Live, driven by Continental. Andrew Wiebe, Dave Goss here with you at 5 Point Station in Atlanta. We've been to LA, we've been to DC, now we're coming to the South. And you know what? There are two guys here with some chemistry. Joseph Martinez, Miguel Almiron. We got that chemistry, and you're going to see it over the next hour. Huge interviews with the biggest names in American and Canadian soccer, some fun games, Matt Doyle, Bobby Warshaw. But Dave, we got to get a goal celebration going here. Make the run, man. Woo! Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's right. That's right. It's coming up. We'll see you in a bit. Here we go. Welcome to Extra Time Live, driven by Continental, hanging out here at MLS Digital HQ, presented by Wells Fargo. Wow, another All-Star in the books. Dave, you and I on the big stage again. Alexi Lalas, Pavel Pardo about to join us, but could I have screwed up that celebration anymore?
I like that you go into it by saying Almiron and Joseph have a good connection, but we're better, and then you proceed to leave me hanging. Like that. You see what Almiron's giving Joseph?
Over the top.
Because he's an assist man.
Yeah.
He's an assist man, so he's giving him that assist. You got me out here dry.
I need to be up here, and I was here.
No, there needs to be flow to your motion.
Gotcha. Tata Martino took the All-Stars through an hour-and-a-half tactical session today. It looks like I could have benefited from that. We have a huge show coming up for you. As I said, Alexi Lalas, Pavel Pardo, two sides of that U.S.-Mexico rivalry. We're going to talk that rivalry, plus MLS and these All-Stars coming up in just 1 second. Hercules Gomez of ESPN will join us, and then Bobby Warshaw. Matt Doyle, the Extra Time radio crew, will share this stage as we give out some of our awards, silly and serious, from the first half of 2018.
Spoiler, Mike Pecky likes to yell.
Yeah, he does. He does, and he makes really good eye contact. Let me tell you that. You have to talk to Carlos Vela, though.
Yeah, it's been a special week. A lot of cool people to talk to, but Carlos Vela, new to this league, and he's a really special part of what's happening in Major League Soccer, and I was a little bit nervous talking to him because I've never really seen him in interviews that much, and he is so excited to be here and be a part of what's becoming a growing group of Mexican national team players here in MLS.
Excited. Plus, he's wearing the C. He beat out Michael Parkhurst, the online vote. That is absolutely ridiculous. I can't believe it happened, but you got to chat with Carlos Vela. Let's take a listen to that interview right now.
Just in general, what's the experience been like so far in MLS?
Well, I think it's really a nice experience. To be here is a good thing because the fans boring you, and it's like you are doing a good job in the season. So I'm proud to be here. I hope I can enjoy the game, and the fan will be enjoying our game with these guys, and I hope we can win.
You were in the World Cup with Jonathan and Gio Dos Santos. We saw you guys have a little bit of a fist bump during El Tráfico on Thursday. Now you play with him again. What's it like being with these guys after that World Cup experience, both as an opponent and now as a teammate?
Well, always is good. Always is fun to play with your friends, because when you play with friends, you have more. You want to win, because when you play against, it's like I have to win, and then it's every day like, hey, I win. So it's nice. And here, I have to enjoy because I'm playing with the best players in the league. So it's a good experience. I'm really happy to be here, and I hope we can bring a good show.
You're captain of that team. The fans voted you captain. What does that mean?
Well, just say thank you to everybody voting me, because it's an honor, because they show her love for me. So just say thank you, and I hope you can enjoy the rest of the season with my football.
We got to go. The handshake and the goodbye. There we go.
With the captain.
You guys, he might pick me for the team now.
It's beautiful.
There's a chance.
His hair was glorious, huh? How was it close up?
Oh, my God. It's a helmet. It's immaculate.
It's and just the right amount of product in it.
Man, I'm going to say,
no break.
You're looking at Pavel. It's
like,
coming in the future, and that's beautiful.
There's a lot of good hair up here, besides us.
You look better now, not before.
Yeah, I cleaned up on the outside.
He's aged well. I think you both have aged well. You actually have 242 international caps. I did the math.
Really?
More than this couch.
Wow.
Yeah, he's carrying you.
Okay.
146, 96. I'm incredibly impressed, but
Of those 200 and what? How many is 200?
242.
Oh my God! How many were good? You know? It's debatable.
I mean, when you got 0, they all look good. I got to tell you, when you got 0, they all look good.
Yeah. Alexi Lalas and Pavel Pardo on the same stage. I mean,
It's beautiful.
This
Beautiful thing, man.
This makes me feel like an international footballer.
It
Like
does.
I'm that level of player right now.
Exactly. You know, and considering my support of El Tri over the
Oh,
summer.
we know.
Yes,
Thank you.
exactly.
I know you.
Exactly.
You support all the time the tree.
Beautiful. Hey, Landon, how you doing? I don't know where you are.
Are you all in? Pavel, are you all in for USA? Do you go the opposite way? Do you reciprocate?
Of course, every
There you
time
go.
because we're rivals, but we are partners as well. So
I love
every
it.
time.
There we go.
And L3
See,
and
Yeah.
MLS has become this.
We are
increasing
friends, but
force.
when we were playing, it's
Oh, yeah, when
good
we're playing,
battle.
it's another thing.
Exactly.
That's a battle.
He wanted to kill me. I wanted to kill him.
That's right. But now it's part of the life and part of the soccer.
What does
You
it
know?
say to you when you see Carlos Vela captaining the MLS All-Star team?
Well, it's fantastic, because in the beginning, everybody was thinking in Carlos Vela how it's going to be, because for him, he said, okay, I prefer in Spain playing, but I think he's doing really good in the beginning on MLS, and it's very good for Mexican players, for the Mexican fans, and of course for the MLS, because it's always good to have Mexican players in MLS.
Has it changed the way Mexican fans talk about MLS, the way he performed at the World
Yeah,
Cup?
you know what? A lot of players came in MLS and doing well. I was part, of the team in Chicago, and we were very happy. A lot of fans everywhere, Chicago, LA, Atlanta, everywhere. So that is the impression, of course, for the Mexican fans is different right now because MLS is growing and growing, and you see, the players that they came here in MLS is very good.
How do you see a change in LA?
Well,
you watch it.
yeah, so I'm watching him, and he's worth the price of admission. And keep in mind that Juan Carlos Osorio, former coach of El Tri,
We'll get there, don't worry.
but this is a guy that talked about very, very publicly how he wanted his players playing over in Europe. And he didn't specifically call out MLS, but he talked about it. And then Carlos Vela comes over, and he was probably shaking his head. But if you didn't know that Carlos Vela played in MLS, and you just watched El Tri playing in those games, especially when they were flying up top there with those 3 and those 4 up top, you wouldn't have said, well, this guy plays over in Europe and this guy plays in the U.S. And that's a great message for the MLS players that are here already, but it's also a great message to send around. And when it comes to the specific team that he's playing for right now, the dude is a rock star in Los Angeles, as he should be, because he's scoring incredible goals.
Yeah.
He is a huge part of that team, and it was fun to see. And being over there, it was fun to see the reaction to El Tri and to see the Mexican fans in Russia. It was nuts when Mexico was playing, and even when they weren't playing, I would look back out in the set, and it would just be green as far as the eye could see, screaming and yelling at me.
Yeah,
But all and they were there.
Of course. Tony Cruz isn't wondering where Carlos Vela plays.
No, exactly. Yep.
Not at all.
There you go.
Germany's not thinking about that. What did you make of the World Cup?
Well, I think, like Alexi Lala says, Mexico, or for me, especially talking about Carlos Vela, for me was the best player of the three. It was the best player, like the way that he played, like Alexi says, in the front, very smart, sometimes hold the ball, sometimes pass the ball, sometimes get in the box. But I think it was a fantastic World Cup for Mexico, but that's a shame that Mexico not going through, against Brazil. But, I mean, the World Cup was in Russia. It was fantastic.
I'm sure you guys know this better than me, but I've been to 2 World Cups, and there's only one home team at every World Cup. It's Mexico. There are Mexico fans everywhere at all times.
It was amazing that Alexis says. I was walking in Russia. I was thinking we were in Mexico City because, every street it was Mexican. Say, we are in Mexico, they are not in Russia.
That's why it's a little disappointing that he didn't get that 5th game.
Yeah.
And it's almost, I was disappointed in the team because they teased us and they played almost half a tournament. First half of the tournament, not only were they good, they were wonderful. And then they didn't lose in the 4th game. They lost in the 3rd game.
Yeah.
That's where their tournament went downhill because, and we talked about it, Mexico has a good way of playing up to the opponent. It's a problem when they're playing somebody that they think they're better. And they lost against that 3rd game against Sweden. That was the killer. Because if they find a way to get a point, it's a difference between playing against Brazil in that game 4 and playing against Switzerland, which they possibly could have played.
You do have to say, though, for a Mexico team that, you had the Chile collapse in Copa America, they did come back and play well against Brazil, right? After that loss, you have to say that they did step back and show that they had the quality. They just couldn't get it done.
Yeah, no, it's true. I'm agree. I was thinking the same. They lost the third game. It was the key because, Brazil is Brazil. The players that they have, they was wonderful players. But, I mean, it's a shame, of course, because Mexico, I'm agree with Alexis. It was a wonderful games for Mexico, but that is the next step for Mexico. But I think it's the mentality, that, like you said, you have to play as a best teams, but every game, if you want to be in the next step.
We're talking about Sweden. One man that wasn't with Sweden, Zlatan. They didn't really need him in this tournament. I mean, they might have been able to use him. The LA Galaxy desperately need him right now. We just saw that hat trick recently. What do you talk about rock stars? Yeah. I mean, he's on a different level of rock star.
He is, but it's a little lame that he's not here in Atlanta for the All-Star game. I mean, look, I know that he calls himself the Lion, but this is a little sheepish, if you will, or lambish, if you will, in terms of making that decision. I get it. He doesn't want to play on turf and doesn't want to come across the country, and he'll take the hit and not play in Colorado. I get that, and ultimately, if it helps the Galaxy make the playoffs and have a deep run, but you talk about the price of it, worth the price of admission. This guy has been money. He has been owning games. He's been scoring goals, so much so that we don't even talk about his knee anymore.
Nope.
Doesn't matter. Yellow cards for throwing off your shirt. That's whatever. I'm Zlatan. It's my world. We're all just kind of inhabiting it. But he's fun. He's fun to watch.
Yeah. We're here in 11 and 12.
Yes.
The league has changed a lot since then, Pavel. What do you see when you watch Major League Soccer today?
Well, right now that I think it's better that young players come into the league. Before it was, in the end, of course, like right now it's Zlatan or that kind of players. But this is the good that I think the league is doing. Invest in good players, not as in soccer and sport. Of course, in a human being, what are you going to do for the youth players? And this is most important thing. And I think MLS is doing right things in this case. So I think it's growing. And for sure, it's going to be more and more success.
We're going to have to let you guys go in just a second, but we want to play a quick game with you. A little this or that.
Okay.
L3 America edition.
Okay.
Chime it up here. What's our first choice you got to make here? I already know what I'm going with when I have LD and Aqua. I'm going Blanco. I'm sorry, he was the mayor of a city.
What do you mean? This is who you would
party
with? Or
no, it doesn't matter. Whatever. If that's yours.
Because I'm going out with Blanco. I love Landon, but
you think you can hang with Tema?
Oh, I can hang.
He can hang. I have no doubts about it.
I go with Blanco.
Going Blanco.
Yeah.
On the field, I can't hang with him. Off the field, at the bar, I'm good with him.
I'll put some LD love in here.
Go LD in there?
Yeah.
I got plenty of love for LD.
Listen, I love Temo, but, Landon showed up a little bit more often.
Tim Howard, Jorge Campos.
Oh.
Tough one here.
All right, so I'm just going Landon on the first one. I'm going to go Jorge on this one because I believe the game in which we play, he was ahead of his time in terms of his ability to play out of the back. He would be wonderful today playing, being that sweeper type of keeper and that outlet that now becomes, at a certain point, it's not even back fours or back threes if you add the goalkeeper in there. So I would go with Jorge.
Very Instagrammable as well.
Yes.
He would be very successful in the social media world. No doubt about that.
I go with Campos, but I'm agreeing with Alexis because right now he's playing. You don't need like a center back because he was playing, on the back and as well he played.
He plays up top.
He played at the top as well.
So now you only need to pick one player. You can show up with 10.
And I'm not sure. Jorge never failed to qualify for the World Cup, right?
Whoa, Alexi.
What?
Okay.
We got a whole show to do here. Don't put me down
I'm
now.
not bringing you down.
All
Listen,
right, let's
don't
move
kill
on
the
to the next
messenger.
one here.
I love Tim. Come on, he's one of the
Jurgen.
great goalkeepers in American history.
Yeah.
Jurgen Juan Carlos Osorio.
Let's see.
Where are we going here?
I think, Andrew, from the reaction that we just got from both of them, that tells you what they're thinking.
Okay.
Let's see.
Who are you taking?
I take Jurgen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And I'll take JCO, but not for the national team now. That doesn't mean that I think that he should be the coach of the U.S. men's national team now. But I'll take Juan Carlos Osorio.
MLSsoccer.com headline: Alexi Lalas demands Juan Carlos Osorio next time.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know what I
We got to
mean?
let you guys. We got to let you guys go. But before we do, Pavel, you're in Atlanta for what? What are you doing here, man?
Well, I'm doing partner with AT&T. That's a long time, working with them. today we're going to stay in a store. Tomorrow we're going to have a viewing party. You know, the fans that cannot go into the stadium, they can come with us, join. You know, so if you want, you can join us.
Nice.
That sounds like an invite.
Nice. That sounds awesome.
Alexi Lalas, Pablo Parvo, thank you guys for joining us. We've had such a
Thank
good
you.
time.
Good
We're
digs,
gonna
good
keep
digs
rolling.
here.
Thanks.
Hercules Gomez coming up in just a second. But we had the opportunity to go play pickup yesterday at 5 Points MARTA Station here in Atlanta for a good cause. Let's take a look at that footage now.
Coming out tonight. We would love you to support soccer in the streets in any way. I know you already do it, but that's why we're here tonight. So we're going to get a game in here. You're going to get a game in. There's free t-shirts. There's free swag. There's whatever you want to do. Obviously, they're podcasting up there, but thank you for coming. Soccer, play pickup, it's what we love. So, have fun. And thank you to Continental as well, because that's where all the snacks, all the help, all the money to make this happen came from. So thank you, Continental.
It's okay.
Yes. That a baby. That's what we call a mega assist. That's a mega assist.
You guys, you got to give it to Joseph up top.
Good time. Hit it. Oh, Ben.
Ben.
Yes. Let's go, Dave.
Tempo, baby. Yep, that's us. Let's go, Bobby. Ooh. Good look. Keeper assist.
Oh.
Sources say Sam Sejko's in pain.
Yeah, so we're a youth services organisation. We work with underserved youth here in Atlanta. We work with about 5,000 kids. And you're here at our home, Station Soccer. This is the first one of 10, so the goal is to unite these 5,000 kids around the city under one network we call the League of Stations.
And there's no way they have any excuse not to get to this field. By building it in the MARTA, I mean, that's brilliant. Not only is it easy to get transport to, but I mean, look at this. It's just gorgeous.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, even the floodlights you can see in the background came back from the Rio Olympics. So it's top notch here, yeah. And the whole idea is to give these kids who don't have transportation, it's the biggest issue for them, a way to connect.
All right, Dave, we got a sweat tonight. It's the perfect combination. Extra time, Continental, soccer in the streets, pickup soccer. What a blast, man.
It's been amazing, you guys. Atlanta is amazing. I love this city. And this is amazing. A field right in the middle of the city, right on top of a subway system. Soccer in the streets is incredible. This facility is incredible, and it's only the first of 10.
Yeah.
Another one about to open up. Soccer in the streets is doing some great work in a great city.
We love what they're doing. Continental Tires loves what they're doing, and that is why Continental is giving soccer in the streets $5,000. You are part of that. You're all part of that. That's 1 year, a program for a public school for a bunch of kids to get out here. Fernando Scarfus, man, thank you.
Thank you guys for coming out.
Yes.
Honorary.
We'll go right down the soccer in the streets. Let's play
next
some
Atlanta
more. We're not
United
leaving
players
anywhere.
right here.
We'll be right back, everybody.
Boy, I was a little underwhelmed by the athleticism on display there. I gotta tell you.
I waddle way more than I thought I did in my own head.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that dad bod in real effect there. We gotta fix that.
But listen, being out there, talking to Sanjay and Fernando and Phil and everyone that helped out, it was amazing to hear what Soccer in the Streets does. And Bobby's a great player, but Sam may have been our MVP.
What you didn't see there was an incredible groin assist.
He gave his body up.
As Bobby would say, he got hit in the jingles.
Also, I scored 2 goals. Both of them you were on camera for.
Yep. That's the way it goes, man. That's the way it goes.
Come on,
but the
guys.
most important thing here is that $5,000 went to soccer in the streets. That is incredible. It's going to help fund a year of programs for public school kids here. Let's go to Carlos Vela right now.
Carlos Vela!
What's up, man? What's up, Looking dapper. I like that jacket.
Yeah, he was working
It's
out.
not a goal! It's a goal!
Carlos Vela is going to be key today, and he absolutely has been. He's been the best player on the field.
Superb from Vela.
They're enjoying themselves. And that is a finish from one of the best players in the MLS, Carlitos Vela.
Welcome back to Extra Time Live, driven by Continental. Alexi Laos, Pablo Pardo off doing their thing. It's all good, though. We got Hercules Gomez here.
Hey, you called the sub.
Yeah, out B team.
Yeah.
You're a goal scorer off the bench, man.
I'll take it. I love that jersey, by the
it's
way,
not bad.
Dave. That is dope.
It's a fresh look.
Is it the 94, like homage to the 94
Right,
team?
like the
But is
crest?
it the U.S. men's national team, or is it Russia 94? I still love it either way.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I designed it, obviously.
Dave is a true homegrown.
But I like to leave my design ideas.
Right.
off
Not
to
only
the
is he
side.
calling the game, but he was an Extra
you
Time
calling the
radio
game?
intern.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now look at him. Big
I've
stage,
been
baby.
developed through the stages. Yeah.
Why does the homegrown team have a better jersey than the All-Stars?
Because you have to inspire the young players to be great. So when they step out there, they feel like superstars. I don't know. That was the best answer I could come up with on the spot there.
I mean, I think it's a great jersey, and
Yeah.
honestly, if I was MLS, I would have switched.
Yeah.
If
swap
you
it
were
up.
an all-star, would you go
Maybe
to
I should've
homegrown and be
switched.
like, hey, you got to change with me?
Yes.
I don't know what that says about me.
What do you think about this crew of homegrown players in this league at this point? The guys that are trying to carry this flag.
Listen, it's strange when you talk about homegrowns because some of these homegrowns won't be phased out until like year 4, year 5. So I don't want to put too much stock on who the homegrowns are or whatnot. I love that we even have days.
The homegrown program so far producing players that have been sold overseas. We just saw Alphonso Davies go.
And you look at these teams, and of course, Hercules Gomez doesn't want to talk about specific players, but at some point we're going to have to talk about Efra Alvarez because the kid is lighting it up as a 15-year-old in USL. He scores goals. Whether he'll play for the USA or Mexico, that we do not know right now.
And well, you have to take into consideration.
Yeah, Efra Alvarez, 15 years old. It's incredible. He has that decision making. If you haven't read Paul Tenorio's piece on Efra, you really, really need to do it. Now, Alphonso Davies, though, he's the guy.
Yeah,
he's the one right now that everyone's talking about, and the reason is 8 figures. He got that transfer to Bayern Munich.
It's history, and what's fun about watching him this week and watching him against Minnesota is you look at it and you say, this is what this kid can do when he's relaxed and when he believes in himself. The confidence of going to Bayern Munich, but also the knowing this is what the next 6 or 7 months of my life look like. And so Alphonso Davies, if he's going to show the way he did over the last week, over the course of the rest of this MLS season, maybe we're talking about a guy who's in the MVP conversation.
All right, Herc. Alphonso Davies, what do you think?
I love Alphonso Davies. I had the opportunity to interview him yesterday for the Max and Herc podcast. He's a man of few words,
right?
Which tells me he leaves all his talking on the field.
I mean, 17. How many words did you have when you were 17?
It's not even about the words. I didn't do what he did on the field at 17 years old. I've had the pleasure and the honor of playing against him. And when I played against him and watching him play, I always assumed he was just a vertical player. He had tons of intangibles. He was good with the ball, but he still had a lot of learning to do. I don't know what it has been, but since he's been announced that he's going to Bayern Munich, there's been like a switch that's gone off in his head, and this kid's unbelievable. In between the lines, the way he receives the ball, the way he lifts his head, the way he confronts players, how he's dragging the ball both feet, he's getting comfortable in tight spaces, and now he's finishing. I don't know what it is about him, but I'm excited for the future of Canadian soccer. For the first time in a long time, it's looking good. You have Alphonso Davies, you have Jordan Hamilton, you have Jay Chapman, you have Jonathan Osorio. For the first time in a long time,
Kyle Larin, maybe Blue
Kyle
Tabla.
Larin. Yeah. Dude, I didn't even mention the best player of all right now. In this moment, I know Alphonso is the future, but Kyle right now is the present. It's scary to think if they had proper direction and how they've come so far in such a short period of time with that crop of players, what they could do.
You've seen young players where Davies is right now. How does that compare to other young studs that have been coming up through this region over the last few years?
Well, you talk about how he's comfortable on the ball. You talk about his awareness. You talk about how he's all of a sudden has this swagger about his game, this confidence, this I'm going to do things at you. I don't care how old you are. I don't care who you are presence. You don't see players that age
when
with
you
that
saw
ability.
Chucky and guys like that, Ache in Mexico at that age or around those ages.
So I was at Pachuca when Ache was a 19-year-old, And he would come to training, and they'd give him a run with the first team every once in a while. When I mean first team, I mean he's part of the 26 players that are training with the first team. He wasn't nowhere near the first team radar. And you see that he had the ability, and you see that he box-to-box player, and you're like, yeah, he's a decent, tidy little player. But along those lines of development, a switch goes off in their head. I can do this at this level. I can be consistent. He didn't have that at 19. Alphonso has this at 17.
Yeah.
You look at that crop of players. Pachuca's amazing academy program. Irving Lozano, Eric Gutierrez, Rodolfo Pizarro, HH. Those players at that age weren't doing the things Alphonso Davies has. Now, they've been consistent since then. That's what Alphonso Davies needs to continue to do, is be consistent. All of a sudden you get noticed. All of a sudden you're there. That's the easy part. Can you stay there?
All right. If you listen to your podcast, Max and Herc, which everybody absolutely should do, if you watched 2NL3 all throughout the World Cup, well, not all throughout the World Cup. There's 4 games at the World Cup. You know the Juan Carlos Osorio.
Sebastian Salazar somewhere right here. Like
Sebastian was here. He would get his take on this as well. Juan Carlos Osorio, we just talked about it with Pavel and Alexi. They kind of mentioned it. Some people have said for the U.S., what do you think of that idea?
I actually think it's a tremendous idea. I need to be real with U.S. soccer fans for a second. Stop being delusional. The Roberto Martinezes, the Pep Guardiolas, the Ancelottis, the Pochettinos, they're not in this orbit. They're not going to come to the U.S. men's national team. Not this time. I don't care what anybody tells you. You need to be realistic. Juan Carlos Osorio may have the best resume of those who are out there that knows the game, that knows the American athlete. And I don't care what you say. You need to be at least somewhat familiar with this landscape because it's very difficult to navigate. If it's not Juan Carlos Osorio, I love Tata Martino. And if you have to, for some reason, Ernie Stewart and co. want to go All-American, the best person out there with American resume we've already had, and that's Bob Bradley.
That is true.
So you have to take a flyer on what is a Peter Vermees, what is a Greg Berhalter, or maybe a Greg Vanney. I think Juan Carlos Osorio at this moment may be your best bet.
We'll see what happens. Listen to Herc and Max's podcast. 2NL3 was wonderful, man. I had so much fun watching this team with you throughout. We are going to go to an interview right now with 2 homegrowns, 2 guys trying to make their way in this league. I talked to Andrew Carlton and Ben Mines yesterday right here in the MLS Digital HQ.
Ben Mines and Andrew Carlton, 2 of the best young players in MLS. Of course, playing in that homegrown game on Tuesday night. We're here to talk about the real stuff. Twitter or Instagram? Twitter? I'm shocked.
I'm going to go ahead and say Instagram.
All right. How are you going with Twitter? I thought Instagram was that's the new thing. That's where you can.
Instagram, it has pics and all that, but I feel like Twitter, you're just on it more. You can be on there all the time. There's always new tweets and all that.
Gotcha. It's flowing.
Yeah, it's more of a flowing thing.
What is this, though, I hear about your Twitter account in the Red Bulls locker room? Everyone follows you, but then they unfollow you.
I wouldn't say they unfollow me. I do post a couple tweets on Twitter. Tend to have a little banter in there, but, not too much.
To say, your page is very polished. You got the pin tweet at the top, thanking everyone.
You have to have a pin tweet.
Yeah, gotta have a pin tweet. Gotta have a pin tweet.
Otherwise, it's just not very professional.
Okay, all right. Social media pros here, of course, better on the field. You've seen Ben score his first goal. We saw your first assist recently. What did it mean, those respective moments in your careers?
I mean, it's definitely not just like another assist, I think it's a pretty special moment that you'll remember forever. But, I think the main thing is that whenever you get that moment, you're so hungry for the next moment that it just, motivates you to keep going and keep working so that you get that next goal or the next assist. Yeah.
And you've got your moment immortalized.
Yeah.
Show the people at home. Just.
Do I have to? I'll flex.
Get the flex. Throw the flex in there.
That's my celebration and the day I scored my first goal. For me, it was such a memorable moment because, I grew up playing for Red Bulls in the academy. I grew up going to games. My first soccer game was a Red Bull game, and getting to be out on the field in the arena was amazing for me. The fans were unreal. And the moment itself will just be in my memory forever.
From goal to tattoo, what was the time frame there?
There had to be a time frame because if I were to get a tattoo, I would have needed a parent's signature.
Oh, I was gonna say
that would have been a problem. But once I turned 18, I knew that I wanted a tattoo, and that was just something I knew that it expressed who I am and something that I wanted to remember.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Andrew, but your assist was to Joseph Martinez, which is basically like every assist at this point, yeah?
Pretty cool guy, yeah.
You just like chip it up towards the back post or play it across the 6 and just close your eyes, yeah.
I mean, he's just like the striker that everybody wants on their team. You know, he's just always in the box and he's always making the run. And you know, he's pretty clinical when he gets in front of goal. You know, the numbers don't lie. I mean, he has crazy amounts of goals, not only this year but last year. You know, and I don't see him slowing down anytime soon.
Plus, you got the 100 on your team, man. BWP.
Brad's such a cool guy because you would never know that he's a superstar. You would never know he has 100 goals in the league. He's just such a cool guy, and playing on the field with him is just so easy because he knows where to be all the time. And all you have to do is find him and he'll be there.
Before we get out of here, Alphonso Davies has been the story of this league for the better part of a week and a half. Makes sense. Bayern Munich, 8-figure deal. This is what young players dream of.
I mean, I think for me, it just shows that, you know, we're that close to making that next jump over. You know, I'm happy for him, and I think he definitely deserves it. But, I mean, it's definitely just showing that, you know, talent that we have in this league and that there's a lot of very talented young players coming through.
Tyler Adams, he might be doing the same thing soon. You've got a ton of homegrown cats on your team that are really, really good. What does it feel like to be a young player in this league? To look around and kind of see peers and to see something different than maybe we saw 10 years ago before this academy structure really started producing the likes of Ben Mines and Andrew Carlton?
What we did, we didn't go to college. You know, 10 years ago, that would have been unheard of. People would ask, we're saying we're crazy.
Yeah.
But you know, we're chasing after a dream, and we want to go to the highest level we can. So I think we're helping the league push that, and obviously Alphonso and, you know, Tyler and all those young guys, they're helping the league immensely. But we're all together pushing to make the league bigger and stronger.
A couple homegrown stars going to play on Tuesday night in the homegrown game. Check that out. David Goss, our own, and Bobby Warshaw calling that one on Twitter. Univision Deportes on TV if you want to watch that as well, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Andrew, Ben, thanks, man.
No problem. Thank you.
Tonight, it's going to be incredible, Dave. Also, Juventus getting ready to play the MLS All-Stars on Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, ESPN Unimas, TVA Sports, and TSN in Canada. Not the stars, no Cristiano Ronaldo necessarily, but still plenty of star power.
I mean, Giorgio Chiellini's
here.
Yeah, Wojciech Szczesny, who now he's got to take over for Buffon. This is the first time in 18 years Buffon's not the starter. And you look at Juve's history, there's an expectation from day one that they're going to win the league and win the Champions League.
Here is the history for Juventus. You can see it. They're incredible. Speaking of Chiellini, he sat down with us to talk about a certain Alphonso Davies.
Anyone on the All-Star team, the MLS All-Star team that you're interested or excited?
Surely the new buy of Bayern Munich, Alphonso Davies. I'm curious because it's not it's particular that a big club of Europe buy a young player from MLS and buy him so much. Then I am a little bit curious to be here to see him.
It's kind of cool. The news for Bayern is amazing. Chiellini, you know, knowing my name is pretty cool too. And all this is I'm just soaking it in. I'm just excited to be here.
With the braces, the 17-year-old, man, like, it's incredible to be in that position.
Yeah.
To have Giorgio Chiellini saying, I know your name. I know where you're going. I know that you're really good, and I want to be on the same field with you. That's got to be so humbling for Alphonso Davies.
And it's one of those things we've talked about over the last few weeks. What does the move mean? What does the move mean? Status. That's why Chiellini knows who he is, because that doesn't happen every day. And so for a player in the world, a player in that high level of world-class players, it stands out to see a Canadian go for that amount of money.
And that's still part of what makes this format special. And look, I'm open to East-West. I'm open to a lot of different things. I won't make any of those decisions, so don't at me with those. But this is an opportunity.
At Andrew Levy.
Underscore in the middle of that. But this is an opportunity for these young players, Tyler Adams, for instance, to match up with guys that are at the top of their profession, to be seen by scouts, by executives, by coaches that may not have seen them otherwise.
By Juve.
Yeah.
We hear stories all the time of, oh, we came and played a friendly, we kept our eyes on them, and then all of a sudden this is our guy. We're interested in him. We want to bring him in, and what a great matchup. What I'm excited to see is the midfield. You have Claudio Marchisio, who's just a legend, and then Emre Can, who's come in new, and he's the type of player that I love to watch. He's methodical. He lets the play develop. Pavel Pardo was here, and that was the type of player he was as well.
Underrated how much of a legend that was.
Oh, no, he could pick a team apart from the same 5 yards of space. He didn't need to move. He didn't need to cover ground. Sean's the same way, and when you look at the MLS side, there aren't a ton of defensive midfielders on this team. Alex Ring is going to be a big part in there, but Tyler Adams, a replacement, coming in as a 19-year-old, he's going to have to step up and show that. It's going to be amazing, and I spoke to him yesterday about this experience and about it potentially going overseas. Let's take a listen to that right now.
Tyler, you're here at the All-Star game, but it's middle of the season. Let's talk about the Red Bulls. Coaching change, Chris Armas comes in. Things have looked a little bit different at times. What's the experience inside the team been like?
Yeah, obviously overall it's been a little bit overwhelming. A lot of stuff happening on the fly. But having Chris, who's internally been with our team, it makes the transition seamless. So obviously we're doing everything we can to support him. Obviously, as he tries to develop into his role as being a head coach, we're trying to do some things to develop as players as well. So we have a couple wins under our belt now, and I think that's helped us with the momentum. Obviously, a congested schedule the past couple of weeks, so it's nice to get a little bit of a break now, and a big one against LAFC on Sunday.
For you personally, you see Jesse Marsh go, a guy that you worked with so long, but goes over to Europe where maybe your future might lie. You see Alphonso Davies make this big move. What's your thought process with your career, with what the next year or so looks like?
Yeah, obviously Jesse has big ambitions of obtaining the ultimate goal as a coach. Obviously Alphonso Davies, amazing for him to go there, and obviously he's been playing like that and deserves it. For me, obviously I have ambitions of playing in Europe one day too. The only thing I can focus on now is playing as well as I can here, and continuing to be recognized like this is awesome because you come from a good team environment with Red Bulls, and they have the support system to do so. So for me, it's just about developing more and more, and then at the end of the year, we see what happens.
For you, this All-Star team, who are you most excited to play with?
Yeah, a lot of fun guys. I think that playing with guys like Carlos Vela, who comes off an amazing World Cup, Sebastian Giovinco, now not having to defend him and playing with him is nice. And then, sharing the field with some of the Red Bulls guys will be a cool opportunity. You don't get to say that a lot, especially in the MLS All-Star game.
For you, I know how much Red Bulls means to you. Coming through the system, coming through Red Bulls 2 with Aaron Long, what's that like to now be here?
Yeah, it's really, really cool. I don't think anyone deserves it more than Aaron. I think that, some players like that go under the radar a lot, and he's worked so hard to develop his game, and it's showing now on the pitch how important he is to our team. And then, being in the homegrown game last year and seeing guys like Ben Mines there now is cool because, last year I was there. Now being an MLS All-Star is pretty cool.
What's better than watching Tyler Adams on TV? Well, in person. Thanks to Continental, you can have a chance to win season tickets to your favorite MLS club. You can see how to enter here. Go on Twitter, upload an original photo, Instagram, Facebook, tag it at Continental Tire, and include the hashtag Celebrating Soccer Sweepstakes in the post. Of course, thanks to Continental, we're here at the All-Star game having a ton of fun.
Yeah.
You're having more fun than I am, though. You went out to the Beltline block party on Saturday, hung out with Waka Flocka Flame. It was quite the scene.
All-Star festivities kicked off with the MLS Beltline block party at the historic 4th Ward Skate Park on the Atlanta Beltline. There was food, there was drinks, there was games, and a soccer game with some celebrities.
People that ain't from Atlanta just know that we are newborns. So, Atlanta fans are exciting fans. We energetic fans. So for us to have soccer inside of an energetic sport and a sport that everybody loves, good things to come from Atlanta.
This is amazing, and what they've done in Atlanta in such a short period of time is nothing short of incredible. Congratulations to Arthur Blank and the whole organization, and from top to bottom, they're nothing but first class. I had the opportunity to come here about a month before the World Cup to call a game, and I was just blown away. And to see this today, it's really incredible.
There was more Atlanta royalty in the house with local street artist Greg Mike putting together an MLS All-Star inspired mural.
Obviously my stuff's very loud. You can see it here, but try to just channel some of that energy that you see on the sports field and put it into a piece of art. Obviously, that's the MLS colors, that red, white, and blue, iconic. The text behind that reads goal, shouting that, and, that's what it's all about, right?
A perfect day out at the Beltline to start out All-Star festivities. Everyone had fun. We had some skill on display, some great music, some good dancing, and of course, what was better than Waka Flocka Flame, the local, the Atlanta man, gets the victory in the celebrity game, bodes well for the MLS All-Stars this week.
Yeah, Weeby, you could say I've been having fun. It's been a pretty good week. You'll see
can
some
I just
more.
make a GIF out of that dance move and just replay it over and over?
Well, that GIF can go alongside what else but the famous GIF of me doing the Dwayne De Rosario dance, which we did see because, as usual, D-Ro got the goal in that celebrity game against Tony Meola. Then he whipped out the dance, and it's a thing of beauty. Even to this day, it's still a thing of beauty. And then I spoke to him today about Alphonso Davies.
Dwayne, we saw you play in the pickup game on Saturday, and we'll get to All-Star festivities in a second. But first, the hot topic for Canada, for the U.S., for Major League Soccer. Alphonso Davies, the huge transfer to Bayern Munich. You're a Canadian national team legend. You've seen the game grow. What does that move mean, and what's your excitement for the player?
First, on so many levels, that move does so much for the game, does so much for Canadian soccer, does so much for the future of Canadian soccer, and the growth of the game as well. So, in every aspect of the game, it helps to impact the game. Obviously knowing Alphonso's story from where he came from and his journey, it's an amazing, compelling story. To go through all those trials and tribulations and to stay positive, to have the opportunity to come to Canada and to play the sport that he loves, and to have a platform like MLS in place to provide him the opportunity to be seen by a club like Bayern. There's so many levels that's of the story that it just fits for an amazing story. So we hope that it continues to be amazing, and it ends that way too. But we're very happy for him. I'm personally excited for him. Can't wait to see him over there. And it just shows the interest and the level and how much the game has grown, not only in Canada, but in MLS and North America.
Last time I saw you in Toronto celebrating MLS Cup. 2018 hasn't gone exactly the way TFC had anticipated. Josie's starting to get healthy. Victor's starting to get healthy. A few other players back. How do you see the stretch run for TFC? Do you think this team sneaks in?
Definitely. I think right now you saw the last 3 games when you factor in the Canadian Cup of how the team played. They caught their rhythm. I think earlier on it took a toll for the CONCACAF Champions League. It took a lot out the team. Some guys got beat up and were injured. And unfortunately, I think when you look back at Greg's decisions, it was difficult because we weren't as deep as we thought we possibly were, because guys had the opportunity to step in, and unfortunately we didn't get the results in our favor. But now you're seeing a healthy Toronto FC back. You're starting to see them catch their rhythm, and it just shows how much impact that Josie has. It frees up guys like Sebastian Javinko, who's our magician for the team. Gives him space, and then with those 2 up top, frees up a guy like Osorio in the middle to do his thing, and he's having a breakout season. Another Canadian doing well, which again is fantastic for us as a country, and hopefully we continue to ride this rhythm and ride this wave and get at least 4 wins under our belt and catch sneak in a playoff spot.
And last one, here in Atlanta, the crowds are crazy. The experience for me has been wild. For you, you've been to a lot of All-Star games. How does this experience this week so far compare?
All-Star games are always special, to play against other players that you admire and to have the opportunity to get that break, just to change things up a little bit. It's a great environment. It's special, and MLS always does a fantastic job. I think it's always fun to be at. I'm looking forward to it. I've never actually been to an Atlanta game, so I'm really looking forward to seeing it on TV, and the atmosphere I heard is amazing. The training ground is impeccable. So everything here is just first class, and I'm looking for an amazing game on Wednesday, of course, MLS to win, and hopefully with a Sebastian goal and Alphonso Davies getting on the board as well.
Well, we saw your goal in the pickup game, and we got the dance as well. We always appreciate that, Dwayne. Thanks for the time.
Appreciate it.
The pickup game was fun. The Beltline block party was fun, but the All-Star concert presented by Target was amazing. 2 Chainz, the local legend, comes out to no problems, and then it's just bangers from there on out.
You're No Chainz. Can I call you No Chainz?
I always wear at least one.
But this is the moment that I've waited for all week to intro this interview with 2 Chainz from David Goss. What a moment for Extra Time.
We're here with the headliner of the MLS All-Star concert presented by Target, 2 Chainz. You're an artist, but you're also a local. What does music mean to the city of Atlanta?
I think music in Atlanta, I feel like we're the new Motown right now. I think we've been very consistent in not just running, rap, but I think all genres of music the past, over a decade. I think we also offer, the soundtrack to not just people's lives, but especially sports. And so I'm happy to be a part of this soccer campaign. I'm happy to be here headlining this event. And I'm definitely happy to be a local artist from Atlanta that's very successful and also a Grammy Award winner.
We're talking soccer. You got the jersey on. When did you become a soccer fan?
To be for real, I really became a fan when United offered to hit the spike. And if you haven't been to an Atlanta United game, it's the most electrifying thing I've ever been to. And I go to a lot of Falcons games in Mercedes, and they had the top cracked open, and they let me hit the spike and the energy, and I mean you literally had to be there to feel that how electrifying it was.
What makes Atlanta a soccer city? Because it's a big one, like you're saying.
I think Atlanta just we embrace different cultures here and ethnicities. You know what I mean? And I think it was just another thing for us to embrace. You know what I mean? I don't see Atlanta turning anything down. This is one of those cities where you can be who you want to be, how you want to be it, anytime you want to be it. And just bringing a soccer team here, it's just we welcome them with open arms.
You mentioned it. You're the face of the MLS Our Soccer campaign this year. What's been the reaction to that? This face.
Yes, this face right here. Honestly, it's been amazing. It's been very incredible. People not just, obviously recognize me from music and, even doing the commercial for soccer, but just, having my music career run hand in hand with something that's so dear to the city of Atlanta. And, you know what I mean? It's just, man, I can go on for like days. It's a great feeling to be in this position.
I'm now officially a huge 2 Chainz fan.
Yep.
By the way, if you want to play DraftKings, the MLS All-Star Showdown contest is going down for Wednesday night. Go get your team in. Of course, you can win cash prizes, but you can also get 15% off at MLSstore.com for 40 hours. Go get your swag. Go get set up. Maybe get yourself a homegrown jersey like my guy Dave Goss. I've got the All-Star jersey. And now we welcome a couple Extra Time radio regulars. You listen to them every single week on the podcast. Bobby Warshaw, Matt Doyle. We couldn't find a jersey for you, Matt, but you're a little more casual than that.
I figured once you hit 40, you no longer wear the jerseys.
You're coaching the squad.
Yeah, I'm coaching this squad right here.
So what's the format? Where are we? I'm up top, obviously. You saw my 2 goals.
You're the goal. Actually, you know what? Weeby's high press last night led directly to it. Like, Weeby, despite all of this happening here, is clearly a wing, like a high-pressing winger. He's the Alex Mouille of that.
Is he a target winger?
With his head cut off?
He's a target winger.
Oh, my God. Doyle 101 right there.
Okay, so we're here to do some fun awards. We're halfway through the MLS season. We could do the traditional stuff, but everybody's doing MVP, Rookie of the Year, Coach, all that. We're going to have a little bit more fun, and we're going to start with the What Am I Watching award, the thing that just kind of blew your mind as you saw it coming. And, Bobby, you're off the top, man. What'd you see?
Now, listen, we always talk about grooming young talent in this country, and yes, we have excellent players coming through the pipeline, but forget the players for a second. Sometimes it's about the coaching. It's about the instruction from the sideline, and this young man had it during the NYCFC game. Look at this. Look at this. David Villa, get into your spot.
Move your lines. You got to move your lines.
Pointing, make sure you stand up. Yes, this way. Yes,
Love
press.
that.
Yeah.
Squeeze the field.
The line of confrontation is clearly too deep, Bobby.
Exactly.
And you can see he has a City Football Group ethos as well. He wants
the
the
umbrella.
field to be compact. He wants to get on the ball. That was a rapid throw-in, right?
Right.
You always press off a throw-in because that's the chance to catch the other team out.
Exactly.
Bingo.
Perfect.
All right,
Exactly.
Matt, what's yours?
Well, what is the most precious substance in the world? It's beer.
Okay.
It's beer.
We all know how to
it's
answer that
beer.
question for a second.
And here you go. All right, so she's pointing at the ball right here. This
Here
is
it
going
comes.
out of play, obviously, but it's in play for the fans. And you can see she's got an eye on it, but she's not the one to watch. That's the one to watch right there. Perfect cushion header back into play. falls into
What's
the
going on
sea,
with the beer, though? What's going on with the beer?
Oh,
preserves
bingo.
the beer.
Bingo.
Wow.
The big question here, though, what's Teal Bunbury
Also
doing?
an
That's a
assist.
perfect through ball, isn't it? He's got an opportunity to score. He's just got to make the run.
You know what? Teal's having a great year. I think we got to lay off him on this one. It was like he was fascinated by what was happening off the field.
What I love is the woman with the phone. She probably got that. That's probably somewhere on
No,
social
what I
media.
love is the assist. He falls over, but his buddy takes the beer at the last
Yeah,
second.
that's
That's
well
a true
done.
goal scorer.
That's well done. My moment where I just kind of mind blown, Will Ferrell and a Falcon. Dave and I were at this game. I would be terrified. Will Ferrell looks like he and the Falcon have been boys for like 20 years. He's
Why-
like, yeah, man, go do your thing.
Watch this, though. The Falcon starts beating his wings, and you can see it's so strong that Will Ferrell's hair starts blowing in the wind, and yet he remains calm.
He's like a statue.
Do you think that's in the top 10 weirdest things that Will Ferrell has ever done, though?
No,
I think
that was
Will
probably
Ferrell's
not the
sitting there.
top 10 weirdest things he did that Saturday. Are you
Or
kidding?
with a
Will Ferrell,
bird. He's
right?
probably sitting there like, I bet another Falcon.
That slow-mo Falcon
Do you
into
have
the
a, do you have a
face.
favorite type of raptor? Are you like a hawk guy or an eagles guy?
More like Velociraptor.
Wow.
Yeah, that's my raptor.
All right.
Obviously.
That's my raptor.
Obviously.
Dave, what's your
I don't
weird
even know what
moment?
Raptors are clearly anymore. My moment was more of a, ew, I'm not stoked about this. It's wild moment. Sebastian Blanco, known as Chucky, throws on the Chucky mask at a game like, oh, no.
The most terrifying thing about it is the hair. I mean, I get it has a hideous face.
Yeah. But it's just like nasty looking. He gets it out of a bag. Fortunately, it's a Timbers home game. Can you imagine if he did that in a away game? I also love that he throws a heart up. So he puts on a horror movie mask.
Yeah,
and
Chucky's
then heart
wearing it.
hands.
That is actually a pretty terrifying mask. Did you ever see Chucky?
The Bride of Chucky.
Yeah, Bride of Chucky was very, very
I
good
saw
sequel.
Chucky, and then I saw Chucky in my room for like a year or two
Right.
after that.
That was the year you didn't sleep.
Yeah.
All right, we'll keep it rolling with the He Said What Award, our favorite soundbite from the year so far. Once again, Bobby, we got to start with you.
Okay. So listen, mine wasn't a surprise thing. It was just I heard this and it made me so stoked. And we all knew Patrick Vieira was a good coach, and I'm sure his players get to hear it every day. But for us to get 30 seconds of what he says on a daily basis about the game of soccer was amazing.
Ben, you good? Yeah? We have to try to make the simple decision. If they're here and the ball inside the box, you are too far, let's keep it. Martinez was more streetwise. He let Alex come in. He just used his body. He was more streetwise.
I don't even need to watch games anymore.
Yeah.
I just
Yes.
need the coach ISO cam and
Yes.
the live mic, and I'm good.
I would pay $1,000 of my own money just to watch any game next to Patrick
Yes.
Vieira and just hear him talking like that.
Any of the 23 coaches,
Yeah.
I would listen to it.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like
fair.
any of
That's
them.
right.
Matt, what's your quote?
I'm actually going to be serious here a little bit. Like one of the things we talk about in building the league, a lot of the focus is always on designated players, and it's great to have DPs, like whether it's a Joseph Martinez, Miguel Almiron type, or a Wayne Rooney type guys, like David Villa. But I still think for the long-term health and growth of this league, for it to get to where we want it to be, we have to produce some of the best players in the world. We have to be as confident in the guys that we produce as they are in Argentina, as they are in France, as they are in Germany. And I really believe that we can do it, and I believe we're on the way. And that's why this moment after Atlanta United beat DC United a couple of weeks back with Andrew Carleton talking about who he was thrilled to play against, and it wasn't Wayne Rooney.
Playing against somebody that's been one of the best players, in the world, it was a really awesome feeling. But I think I was even more excited to be out there with Chris Durkin, being somebody that I grew up playing with. We've been on the national team together for forever.
Chris Durkin.
Love it.
Love that shout out.
Yeah, and we're seeing it now, right? Like Alphonso Davies just got sold for anywhere from $13 to $22 million to one of the biggest clubs in the world. And maybe Carlton will be next, maybe Durkin, maybe Tyler Adams. On down, Reggie Cannon's been great for FC Dallas this year. Mark McKenzie, Austin, and we're going to see the homegrown game tonight. This is the future of the league. This has to be the future of the league. So I loved that little snippet right there.
I assume because I'm in the shares, you're talking about me being the
You
future of this league.
100%. 100%.
Well,
You don't look a day over 38.
I appreciate that. Doyle, always I need you. Bobby picked a coach who decided to, be tactical, talk about the game, talk about those things. I'm going to pick emotion, and I'm going to pick Long Island. And my moment clearly has to be Mike Pecky screaming about the refs post-game.
Maybe the guy in the booth, wherever the hell he is, watching this, maybe he was watching The Simpsons at the same time. I don't know. I have no idea, but it's not good enough to me. And I'll take the fine. Jeff Agus, fine me. Fine me. I don't care anymore. You know, no other coach in this league steps up a little more than they should. I'm going to. So drain my bank account. I don't give anymore, okay?
Wow. Nobody makes eye contact like Mike Pecky makes eye contact. Like, I can barely look at that without averting my eyes over and over. Like, I'm sorry, Mike.
It was pretty
I'm
great.
sorry this happened to
I
you.
like that you gave the Long Island shout-out.
Yeah,
I
of
assume that
course.
was a shout-out to our own Ben Bear, who's from Long Island.
Yeah, absolutely. That's where it came from.
And you can't have quotes in 2018 MLS without Zlatan. After his first game, what does he say? Here you go.
The fans were demanding something, and I gave them Zlatan. It's not easy, because I can imagine LAFC now winning 3-0, losing 4-3. It's not easy. But if they would have Zlatan, would be opposite.
That man is going to be on a television screen or a movie screen very, very soon.
Honestly, it might not
Cast
even,
him.
It might not even be a top 10 quote from Zlatan. And he's been here, 4 months?
Yeah.
I like when he said if he had come here 10 years ago, he'd be president already.
Yeah.
All right, I actually believe him.
Shout out to Francisco Calvo for one of the best quotes of the year. I had no idea where that respect meter is right now, but that was a great, great rant as well post-game. All right, we're going to move on to our next favorite. Did that just happen? On the field, moments that just made you go, wow, how did that just happen? Why did that just happen? Bobby?
Well, one of the best moments of the season was when Toronto made it through Champions League, CONCACAF Champions League. They got to the semifinals. They got to the finals ultimately, but here they are against Tigres, who we all thought was the best team in North America. At this point, they are tied, and this Jovinko free kick put them back in the lead on away goals. And it was one of those moments that you just said, holy crap, everyone got out of their chairs. It gives me chills again to watch.
Look at Jovinko. Look what it meant to him. And when he stepped up over that, you knew.
Yeah.
At that point, you knew. It was going in.
It felt like destiny, and it was until it wasn't.
Yeah, I was sitting in Guadalajara during the final, and it felt like destiny for 120 minutes until it wasn't.
Yeah.
All right, Matt, your destiny is to go second.
I mean, you already gave us the Zlatan quote from his first game. Let's run the highlight from his first game.
Oh, God, I still remember this.
The magnitude of the game, right? The first ever El Tráfico. He had just come on, and you see the clearance just like sort of sitting up for him perfectly, and he rips it home.
Did you know that he was about to do that? Like when the ball bounced and he approached it, did you say, oh, it's going to happen?
So we were all in the studio, right? I remember this. We were all in the studio, and it was one of those, and I think everybody's had this with one sporting event or another, but it was one of those moments where we were all sitting together, and obviously we're transfixed on this game because of everything around it. And you see the clearance go up, and you realize Zlatan sees it too, and he's kind of angling his body already. And before he's hitting it, like the whole studio is like jumping out of their chairs and screaming because you know it's going to be, one of the most memorable goals in MLS
Literal
history.
edge of the seat moment. Like everybody just inching up, like getting ready to go up.
Yeah.
Dave, your moment?
I'll go with goals as well. BWP, he scored 100 of them. But not just the goal, he does it at DC United. And let's take a look at the celebration. He wears number 99. He gets the 100 goals. He rips off the shirt. He's got the 100 on the back. And Bradley Bird Phillips is his own man. He's come here and he's become a legend at New York Red Bulls. But his dad is one of the greatest goal scorers in the English Premier League's history, in the sports history. And this moment is a homage to his dad. You look at what he did when he broke the Arsenal record. For Bradley to see that and think, I want to do that one day, and then get to do it, was just cool for me to see.
It was a really nice moment. I like that there was like a video game aspect of it. Like he leveled up. He was level 99, level 100.
Yeah. Alphonso Davies is leveling up.
Yeah.
And I know everybody is transfixed by this game against Minnesota United. He's running past people. He's doing the drag overs. But it was against Orlando when it was just kind of like, oh no, this kid's going to be gone very, very soon. Look what he does to poor Will Johnson. He just puts him in a blender right there. And this whole game, he was dominant. You put him in the open field, he's going to blow past four guys. You give him the ball in the box, he's going to score. I mean, look at this. Amro Tarek is just trying to keep up, trying and failing. And nobody in this league right now can keep up with Alphonso Davies.
He's enjoying it, too.
He's loving it.
His ability to eliminate players off the dribble and then complete the play is what has elevated him to, again, the type of player who Bayern Munich would come in and fork over a whole lot of money for.
Guess where you can watch him? The MLS All-Star game. Presented by Target. It's going down. on Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. ESPN Unimas in the U.S., TVA Sports, and TSN in Canada. Thank you so much for watching Extra Time Live. We've been to D.C., we've been to L.A., we've now done Atlanta. We've had a great time here. Big thanks to Hercules Gomez, Pavel Pardo, Alexi Lawless, and you guys. And thank God they didn't show any Meg shots in that video at Soccer in the Streets. What an event that was. We hope you were there. If you weren't, maybe next time. With that, we're going to say goodbye. We'll see you around, everybody.